What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. Before we get into the awesome competition that is dragging Gold Series prices down oh so quickly, even in the pre-sale range, I just gotta say, I'm passing another kidney stone, so if I take things slower, I don't seem like my usual energy, I stop to take a drink of something, I just gotta take that kind of pacing for now. Old Grandpa Market Man here. I am getting up there in age compared to the average duelist, and hopefully this is the last kidney stone. We already knew it was there whenever they did the scans. It was a matter of time. I'm dealing with it. You only get one body. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Make sure you're good. That being said, let's get into today's Market Watch, starting with Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily. Code What'sGood5 still live over there, and I would suggest using it on several singles. Interesting that they're calling, though, that Infinite Impermanence will be the top card of the set, and I agree long term. But for the immediate, a lot of people have been waiting for that first Eldritch the Golden Lord, the reprint, and nothing being shorted in this set is really odd for the estimated value pulled. Now, speaking of what is actually half printed, Ash Blossom, for example, or anything with two arts in the set, you will only have a total pull rate of, say, Ash Blossoms plural as you would the Infinite Impermanence. So these are half prints in the sense, but you will pull as many Ash Blossoms as Imperms as other cards most likely, and it does seem to be that way in the USA. Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market was talking to me, and they were saying they got unfortunate with Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. They seemed half printed to them as well, but then I talked to Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily, no shorts at all, so it just seems to be clumping, which has been an issue in products lately. Harpy's Feather Duster at $5 is pretty dang insane. Ash Blossom, the Ash Feet gang, has been selling out places it seems faster than the 5-head. I was wondering what would win long term. Nibiru around $8 does also make a lot of sense, as people are going to be grabbing these in threes. Anything that people need three of likely will be in the higher price range. Alternate Art Apollosa as low as $5, and also, again, the percentage off with code What'sGood5, and you're looking at a ton of these singles. They do ship internationally. They do charge for that, unfortunately, on singles, so you have to build a pretty big cart and get together with a team for now, but it's free shipping in the USA on anything over $25 here. The competition ramps up other places, though. You can see Tier 0 actually has slightly cheaper Red Eyes and Dark Magicians, but more expensive Blue Eyes. They've been running out of a lot of stock of things. Their Infinite Imperms slightly cheaper, but again, I don't blame them for this call at all, that Imperm is the long-term winner, and then they are oh so cheap on many things. Oh, the Dragon Maids, $3 and under. Ghost Ogre at $2.50s. There is not a Droll and Lock Alter Art at $3s. Now, TCG Player also has the competition ramping up. You can see Harpy's Feather Duster over here, though, at $14? Yikes! Then you see Ash Blossom, the Alter Art, at 11, where the 5-head is towards 10. So you can see Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily right now is slam dunking on a lot of these prices, undercutting on stuff like the Dragon Maids more than they have to. Going harder than they have to is something I've been saying a lot this year, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily has really been bringing it. And when we look through the rest of the set, they're just winning on a lot of cards, but they're starting to come down. TCG Player usually isn't this competitive this early, but I think vendors are going to clamor over each other's bodies, trying to sell the singles out of this set. I do think holding the sealed long-term is still a really good call for Gold Series in general. Almost every Gold Series does go up over time, and we had a long conversation about that in the Discord. Well, if everybody's holding it, then so many people will have it and it won't go up in price. Not everybody is good at holding on to investments, or they hit a certain price point and that's when they sell. Like, I still think Gold Series is an extremely long, good hold, but this, you don't have to have high price singles in order for that to pan out. Look at past Gold Series. A good modern example is Legendary Collection Kaiba, which does have Kaiba's face on it, granted. First edition also being like $80. There's definitely sets that don't have a lot of estimated value pulled that just do well over time, especially for the cards inside being iconic or good. So I don't think this is a dude situation, because those pulls were guaranteed. I think this is more like Legendary Collection Kaiba. I do think it will do well over time, especially considering the history of gold. But do shop Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily, shop Tier 0 and TCG Player. Find the best deals for you, and code What'sGood5, of course, working at Tier 0 and Daily. I love this early competition between the two. Competition breeds the best prices for the customers, and seeing it fall out like this on TCG Player early, where Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market's actually a lot of the lowest listings, kind of cool to see. Next up, we have Phantom Baby Rage. Those prices also falling out. I heard a theory. It's like, well, people have to pay for Gold Series and Pokemon sets this much, and Magic sets, and everything's happening all at once, and vendors need the money. I don't think that's why the fallout has been so bad on Phantom Rage. I think a lot of people thought this would be Rise 2.0 or really good, and the thing is, Zeus here is generic, but not for every deck. And you don't need 3 of him. You usually play 2 or 1. Alpha is generic. He's an option like Pinkratops, but he's not as good as Pinkratops. He doesn't play during your opponent's turn well. He has things that are going very well for him, like summoning him again after bouncing and stuff like that. He's a great card, but not everyone's rushing to play 3 in the main. Most people would cite it because you are only going to play him when going second, and those back and forths in the meta. Lulu did spike over here. I know Cali Effect covered that, and people are like, Baby Rage Cali Effect, why? I featured Lulu on 2 different market watches on the cover, and people like took exception to him putting it on the cover. You guys stop that. Like, Lulu was almost destined to have it spike, and it's already fallen out this quickly. Look at it's already down to $8. I don't know what you're complaining about. That Yugi 2% influencing the market. Like, people only pull out their wallet and start throwing money when they see a reason to do that. They don't just blindly follow people. They don't just go ahead and do that. Like, the only time they do that is if the information lines up with their interest and they go, you know what? Okay, so I do think that Lulu was kind of going to be the one that happened to, and it's already cooling off faster than you could expect. I've had so many conversations on Warning Point 2. People think this is going to spike, and at some point it may get a player brain buyout, but this card reminds me of Get Out, where it may even top a couple of events, but it just doesn't seem that good to see widespread play. It's a trap, so you're pretty much wanting to see it when you're going first, and I feel like Solemn Strike is just often a better card, getting rid of the resource completely off the board. I don't know. I feel like it's a great player brain card, like, oh my god, 500 IQ, this does what? But I just don't think it's going to pan out long term. Oh wow, I didn't know he was actually a $6 card. Tri-Brigade Fractal. The Tri-Brigades have felt undervalued a bit too. You can see the secret rares. Oh my gosh. And excuse me right quick. I do have to take a little drink. I should take my own advice and be drinking water, boys. Next up, we have the mutants being extremely cheap. I've seen reactions of people pulling these and just being like, ah! So, the mutants, not as desirable as people first thought, but like Plunder Patrols, we could see a little future announcement of supporting like Blazing Vortex, and you could see some spikes there, and hopefully they do bring it all together. Now, speaking of our virtual worlds, Digimon going into the virtual world, that's a different discussion. Psychic Field Zone spiked really hard a couple of days ago, and I had brought that up as a penny stonk before, so if you went in on that, you are eating well. It's a really good generic Psychic card that people are latching onto with the deck, and I don't blame them. A lot of the Psychic cards only have 1 printing. Fusion Deployment got a buyout. This has always had high potential, but I don't know necessarily that it's going to see high usage. Let me know what this is for. Somebody said it was for the new Fusion archetype for them. I don't know. I'm not feeling that this should have been bought out at this point. But if you have them from before, it was a very strong penny stock. Now might be the time to sell or consider. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think is going on with this. Troll and Toad's hot buy list is always interesting to me. They're buying Lulus above what TCG Player is selling them for, so you could be getting extra money and use code What'sGood5 to get extra percentages on your buy list. Just put it in the notes, and What's Good 5 applies, so you also get more for you and you support the channel. So that's kind of a funny thing to notice. But also what I saw was they're buying Borbos at almost $2, and then I looked it up. Wow, he's $3. So that's why I love the Troll Hot Buy list. That always shows me cards that are high demand for them that I might not have like looked down at. Like Borbo is something I kind of would have just glazed over looking through, but wow, $3 Borbos. One thing I also want to bring up is with Zodiacs, remember that Raging Tempest was one of the EU sets that had really bad foil curving problems and got tons of players disqualified over here. So I would go ahead and not go highest rarity and buy mega packs if you're buying online, because if you end up with EU print ones and we get back to events and this deck is still relevant in person, you could be losing your entire trip for a card that you just bought online and you played the one of. It would really suck to like get DQ'd for a marked card that is their printing fault. And on that note, also a friendly reminder that Invocation, Fusion Enforcers from that time, you have Duelist Saga, all those EU printing sets. The foil, I think, bends the different way from the US foil, which makes them even more marked. I would go ahead and, if you want a secret rare one, get the Battles of Legend version, skip on Fusion Enforcers, unless in person you see these aren't freaking tacos that you could just go ahead and eat. Definitely consider the versions of cards you're getting and the history of the game. And a lot of new players don't know. Like, I have people in my streams, I've never seen Zodiac play before. This is freaking interesting. Yo, I'm so freaking old. I know what unerotted brain control does. But on a serious note, a lot of people just don't know the problems that pros faced in the past. I believe Shu Ping has directly run in with this issue before, and so many pros, friends, lost their entire event on EU barrages. I myself got pulled behind the curtain and told I had one marked card, and it was also a barrage, which I was very lucky it wasn't all of them, to create a trend. So definitely consider the version you're buying. Make sure whenever you're looking at your deck, cards aren't discernible in a sleeve, even if it's Konami's fault. Make sure you're not paying for it. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Go check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily for the Gold Series prices and the competition. It's really, I wonder how the set is going to fall out, medium range and top range, but the demand early for these three, putting them atop the set, it's not the most surprising, but I think Blue Eyes is the biggest winner out of all three long term. But we haven't had a holo printing of Red Eyes art in ages either.